give Jesus a great big hand. God is so good to us. We love Him and appreciate Him. Thank God for everybody that's here. There's some out, but we're still going to keep on keeping on for Jesus.
Right.
Because there's coming a day that we're going to wish we could be here.
Amen.
And we need, in this time that we're living in, we need to be faithful to God in everything. Not just coming to church, but in everything we need to be faithful to God. He's good to us. And I love Him. I appreciate Him. Thank Him for all that He does for us. If you have your Bibles, turn to St. Luke chapter 14. We'll start reading from verse 16. Luke chapter 14, verse 16. Then said he unto him, a certain man made a great supper, and made many, and sent his servant at supper time to say to them that were bidden, Come, for all things are now ready. They all with one consent began to make excuse. The first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must needs go and see it. I pray thee have me excused. And another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them. I pray thee have me excused. And another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. So that servant came and showed his Lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, Go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind. And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. And the Lord said unto the servant, Go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. For I say unto you, that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper. Give the Lord a hand, you may be seated.
Bless Him, Jesus.
Bidden is to ask, is to draw. It's a drawing part. The Lord deals with you on something. We're asked a lot of times to come to different things, and sometimes we can't come on different occasions in this life that we live in. We may be asked to a birthday party. We may be asked of different things to go to, make an invitation, and sometimes we can't go. We begin to make an excuse that we can't. And but I'm going to be preaching tonight what the Lord is dealing with me on is excuses.
Bless Him, Lord.
Is excuses. We're living in a world, and that's why I'm just going to remind the Lord tonight. That's why that we have very little in the house of God anymore.
Amen.
Because people, and I'm not trying to be mean, not trying to belittle nobody, but people's got so anymore that the time that we live in, they make any excuse to get out of church.
Amen.
But all the other days of their life, when it's church time, they'll make an excuse. But any other day, they'll do anything that they please. Even of the evenings, they'll say that it's too late. You hold service. They make any excuse. You hold service too late. Y'all preach too long. I'm just giving as God gives to me.
Right.
This is a lot of excuses that you hear. You hold services too long. Y'all sing. Some of them say you sang too many songs. But I just want to let God have His way. They let people testify too much there, and they can't come. But what about there's coming a time, seeing they'll make themselves ready for everything else.
Right.
They'll make time. They'll mark it down. They'll take and they'll have appointments. They will not miss that appointment.
Amen.
It don't matter. But Josh, it's just like you think about. There's an appointment that's coming to us in life. There's one thing that we can't change, and that's death that comes.
Yeah.
So when death comes to us, if we ain't ready to meet Jesus, do you think that you'll be able to stand and tell Him? And I know it's slow down here, but just listen just for a little bit. You think you'll be able to stand before Jesus and tell Him, I didn't have time?
No.
Listen, I couldn't, here's one lot, I couldn't get off work. People can get off work. I've heard Brother Dennis, and I know he's not here, he went to his boss. A lot of people's afraid to go to their boss on this because they're afraid they'll lose their job.
That's right.
But now they'll go to the boss to get overtime.
Come on.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
But then when it comes church time and you ask them, why couldn't you be here? Why couldn't you do this? Why couldn't you be in that service? We missed you last night. They begin to make excuse. They'll make excuse to man all they want to.
Yeah.
But there's coming a day that the excuses ain't going to matter to Jesus.
Right.
Amen.
Right.
Excuse, listen, I thought about this as Lord still, I've preached from here before, but that last verse I read in 24, for I say, this is Jesus talking here. He's the whole book. But this is when he walked here on the face of the earth in red that we look at. He said, for I say unto you that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper.
Come on.
What is he saying here to us? When people begin to make excuse in this life that they can't go to church, there's no way I can live the way, look here, don't live the way that I live. Live the way that the Bible says to live. Amen. According to the Word of God. That's the problem. It's got so far away. Now here, listen to what I'm trying to say. The church has got so far away from the Word of God. Now it's crept in, Brother Jeff. If they can't read it, right, I'm talking about, I'm not saying we add to it, but if they can't look right at the scripture and see what sin is that they're doing in their life, they're not going to change.
Come on, amen. Come on.
Do you know the Bible says, study to show thyself approved?
Amen.
A workman needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. There's people that does not rightly divide the word of truth.
Yes, come on.
But listen here, Jesus, when he began to speak here, and he bidden people, there's people, God dealt with people of Jeff on different things. That's what bidding he deals with you. It's an invitation. I want you, God deals with people, I want you to stop doing this. If you want to get to that supper that Jesus is talking about, people has got to stop making excuses that they can't come to church. I can't live right. I can't go where they go. But glory to God, Brother Jeff said, even, look here, there's only one church.
Amen.
Come on.
I was thinking about Brother Butch just yesterday. How that Brother Butch, he's got it so right. A lot of times when he starts out, he'll say, man's got a church, but God's got a church. And if we got to believe that man's got a church, but God has got a church. And his church ain't going to make excuse. It's not going to make provision for the flesh.
Amen.
But man's church will allow you to do what you want to do. You can, as long as you pay your tithe, put into the offering, you can come once a month. And it's all right with the pastors that way. That's man's church. But Jesus, look here, Jesus wants you to be in church every time there's service.
Yes. Amen. Come on.
Amen.
Every time.
Amen.
We're living in a world that they want to make every excuse.
Yeah.
Do you know that you're going to hurt at the house same as you are at the church? My father-in-law taught me this. He was in a lot of pain. He said, you're taking me to church. I'll hurt at the
Right.
Who's going to stand before Jesus and say, Lord, I was in so much pain, I just couldn't go to church?
Come on.
Come on.
I know this right here ain't going to go over well, but excuses, people's going to end up in a place that's called hell over excuses. You know why? Because it over in Romans says you're inexcusable, old man.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
Excuses, it's a lot of people, they beg off. That's to beg off. They decline, they shun, avoid. They make excuse, entreat, they refuse, and they reject. All this here's going on all the time. And Brother Jeff said it right. We'll come to church right here.
Amen.
We'll come to church right here, and truly, deep down on the inside, some of us, thank you, Jesus, some of us don't love each other.
Come on.
Amen.
I've got to obey God because I'm not going to stand in judgment when He says, I told you to say it, and you wouldn't say it, and start trying to make excuse.
Come
Right.
on.
Come on.
We're never going to get to heaven if we can't love each other down here. If I can't love my brother whom I have seen, how can I get to heaven and say I love Jesus whom I have not seen?
Ain't good.
Come on.
We ain't got no scripture for it.
There's too many excuses.
Right.
We're living in a time of excuses. Let's hear what these people begin to do. And they all with one consent. They was in one accord on this one.
Come on.
Consent that's in accord. They was together on all with one consent begin to make excuse.
Yeah.
I bought a piece of ground, is what the first one said.
Yeah.
And I must needs go and see it. I pray thee have me excused. Now at the end of this, he didn't excuse him.
No, he didn't.
If you understand what Jesus was saying, in other words, you ain't excused.
Come on.
How many people would take and buy a piece of property or buy a vehicle and never look at it?
Come on.
Amen.
Why would you have to go and prove it making some lame excuse? You ain't going to make a lame excuse to God.
Amen.
Amen.
Come on.
Amen. But I tell you, this is happening. I had to go down there that night. Do you know we need to get back Brother Hunter, like it used to be? When the church doors was open, you know what church used to do? The church would follow each other. If somebody was somewhere else preaching, glory to God, do you know what they done? The church supported. The church, glory to God, got behind. It didn't matter. Well, I can't come. I got plans. What about God's plan? Right there. What about God's plan? We're one church. We ain't two churches. We're one church.
Amen.
You know why? Thank you. We're living in such a fast life world.
Amen. Yeah.
Amen.
You know what they say? I got to take time for family. You know who my family is? God's people.
Amen.
Yeah, I got family in the flesh. I love them.
Right.
But God's people is my family.
Amen.
I've been born again. I'm begotten by the Word. The Word's what keeps me alive. You won't survive in this life without the Word of God. You won't survive in this life. Just like an old saying, if you miss church for a week, makes 1 week.
Right.
Come on.
Amen.
Amen.
Whether people like it or not, if you lay out of church, you keep laying out of church, you keep laying out of church. Do you know, in my walk with God, Daddy, in the last 15, 16 years, there's been some times that I just want to throw up my hands and quit.
Amen.
There's times when you go through a process, when you go through a process of having to leave this church to go to this church, glory to God, and there ain't but one church. I'm talking about buildings. You get comfortable in the place that you're in, and then, Lord God, you begin to make excuse that you can't go to church because you're not at home. We have to be at home with Jesus. Lord God, I talk about He dwells on the inside of us.
Amen.
Amen.
Once upon a time,
Go ahead.
I'd make any excuse for the Josh because I wasn't comfortable who I was around.
Amen.
Any excuse every time there's church night.
Come on.
Then you know what the next time got?
Easier.
It got easy.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you'd miss 2 or 3 nights.
Yeah.
You know what happened then?
You're weak.
You don't look at the, we don't backslide overnight.
Right.
Do you know what happened then? The Holy Ghost started dealing with me. Go back to church, feel so bad, sister Dory. You go around and people asking, well, we've missed you. You just don't know what to say. Because you feel so ashamed, you ain't got no excuse, in other words.
Right.
Right.
Come on. It's true.
No excuses.
Then you go a night or 2, then you start missing again.
Yeah.
What's happening?
You lost your desire.
What's happening to people?
Backsliding.
They're falling out of love with Jesus. They don't love him no more.
Amen.
They have forgot their first love. Do you know when people really first got in church, what happened to them? They wasn't nothing. There wasn't nothing that keep them from witnessing. Daddy, there wasn't nothing to keep them out of the house of God.
Right.
When it comes, look here, when people may say, hey, you want to go up here, we're doing something. No, I'm going to church.
Come on.
You know, I've had people say, you go to church too much.
Yeah.
How can you go to church too much?
Okay.
I go to church, I'm talking about me and Jesus. We have church every day, but I'm talking about go to the building, gather yourself. How can you go too much? You can't go too much.
Yeah. Come on.
Amen.
I got to get this off me. You ever wrestle with something? The Lord said it's time. You got to it's got to come out.
Right.
Yeah, it may be slowed down. That's all right.
Yeah.
But there's too many excuses being made every Wednesday, every Sunday.
Come on.
Every time, look here, they'll make an excuse. I can't go because that was preaching. Dad even said it tonight.
Come on.
We can't go because he's preaching.
Yeah.
Right.
We're afraid what he might say. Well, what he might say would help you. If you take and listen and get on your knees and quit worrying about your feelings and getting hurt.
Amen.
Amen. Bless him, Lord.
If I didn't go to church because my feelings got hurt, I wouldn't be here.
Amen.
Come on.
Amen.
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 I wouldn't be here. I couldn't, Brother Jim, couldn't even pastor.
No.
Did we not read in the Bible what it says? He said, you know that men talked about me. It's what Jesus
He
said.
did.
Right.
They talked about me.
Yeah. First.
Did he say they're going to talk about me first and I'll take it all for you and y'all just take it easy? He said, no. You're going to get talked about too.
Yeah.
Why are you getting talked about? For his name's sake. Stand, look here, what is his name?
Jesus.
Oh, his name's Jesus. But what is this? Look here, his name, it's the Word of God.
Amen.
The Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. But nobody wants to stand for the Word of God. Jesus, that's the Word. He said the words that I speak, they are spirit and life. Stand for the Word of God, you're going to suffer persecution.
Amen.
But they make excuses. Excuses. You hear them every day. Every day.
Yep.
I can't come. I got so much going on. I'll lose my job. What's it going to be in the end? You stand there.
Truth. No excuses.
On down these scriptures here. People's not counting up the cost.
Right. That's right.
They ain't counting up, Brother Jeff. Money ain't going to get you to heaven. I don't care if they pile up every Sunday, every payday. If they pile up that big, Brother Rudy,
Yeah.
and won't come to church, send it by somebody to write a check, that ain't going to get you to heaven.
No.
No.
We can't buy our way in. Excuses ain't going to work.
Amen.
Right.
That goes for me. The Lord's been dealing with me on this since September on excuses. Make excuse.
Bless him, Lord.
You can do this, just tell them you got to do that. What about Judgment Day? Can we look further than just where we're at that day? We do it all, everything else. We're looking down the road. You know what? We're taking plan for a lifetime, and the Bible says we ain't got no promise of tomorrow.
Right.
Come on.
This is the word of God. We're taking plan, just like that one in the Bible. What did he do? His ground tucking was plentiful. Had a lot. He could tuck and distribute that to the poor and help people. He had enough in his barns. His barns was big enough. But he left Jesus out. He said, I'll do.
Yeah.
Notice he said, this is what I'll do. He didn't say men Jesus. He said, this is what I'll do.
Come on. Come on.
This is what people's doing today. And they're making provision for the flesh. They're making excuses that they can't come to church.
Amen.
Because so-and-so hurt their feelings. I'm like Brother Westman. I'd rather hurt your feelings and see you walk a street of gold than to take and lie to you and go to hell with you at the same time.
Right.
Amen.
Church is the truth anyway. There's preachers that will lie to people and they're going to walk right down the avenues of hell right with them. Because they won't tell them the truth. They won't tell them what they got to do to get to church. And when they get to church, they won't tell them how they got to live.
Come on.
Jesus had to come out from among the world. There ain't going to be no excuse for the church, for me or anybody else, if you're not separate when Jesus comes.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Here's another that bought 5 yoke of oxen. I got to go prove it. Amen.
He did. He was going to go
That's probably the truth, what Brother J.R. said.
Yeah. Looking for excuse.
Oh, he probably done already looked at them, patted around on them, making sure there wasn't no cuts, no sores. Man, look how slick him is. Looked all over them. Just like we do today going around a vehicle. We want something that's going to be right for the Josh.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
I mean, he probably looked them over real good. Do they eat good? Probably asked all the questions and got it just right. But then he paid for them. Then it was time for him to come to the supper. He started making an excuse. I just bought some oxen. There ain't no way I can go to that. Ain't that, look here, the best supper that we're ever going to get is right here at the church house.
Amen.
Come on. Yeah.
The best food we're ever going to get is right here. He said, coming down.
Amen.
Yeah.
Ain't that what he told him? He said, coming down. Jesus has got something for us if we'll come and eat at his table. He's present every service. He's present at every service. But Lord God, they don't want to eat from his table.
Amen.
Amen.
That's the truth.
Well, the wrong chef's a part of that.
Yeah, I don't like what he's cooking.
Come on.
How many different restaurants you go to and eat at?
Come on.
Amen.
Come on, church. How many different restaurants will you go to? Or will you go to the same restaurant and just eat, I gotta have that chef, I ain't eating nobody else's food.
Come on.
Sometimes you gotta get down to the natural to get them to look at the spirit side of it.
Amen.
Amen.
It's still, look here, Jesus is the same one
Yeah.
that preached to Bo, preached to Dad,
Come on.
preached to me, Brother J.R., Hunter, Blake, different preachers I keep on naming. He's the same one that it's the Holy Ghost that preaches. It's the Holy Ghost. It ain't, look here, I'm too shy, Brother Josh. When I get around a crowd of people,
Yeah.
Lord's brought me a long ways, but I just crumble. But this is, look here, I've learned that I have got to witness for Jesus. I've got to preach for Jesus.
Amen.
And love what you do. That's reason anymore I ask him for an opportunity, a door to open. Because people is so easily offended.
Yeah.
You got to ask for that door.
Come on.
Yeah.
There's times the Lord's told me to go and warn people.
Yeah.
And I went and warned and taught them exactly what God says. And they still won't have it.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
But you know what I do? I don't want to stand in judgment.
Yes, sir.
Start making excuses. Well, I just couldn't.
Right.
You know, man, I was real close to that person. I couldn't go say that to them. Then he said, yeah, you was once close to me and you started drifting off.
Yeah. Come on.
You started making an excuse. You know, when you make an excuse, you start drifting off.
Sure do.
You're getting away from God.
Amen.
Shunning, you want to get away from it. That's excuse. When you make an excuse, you're shunning. You're getting away from it. Moses tried to make an excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. He couldn't get out of it. Lord, my speech, I ain't no good at it. I ain't good at reading either.
Right.
But over the years, you know what I've learned? I've learned to read more here. When I first started, I still can't pronounce stuff right.
Right.
But I'm not going to let the devil stop me in that.
Amen.
If he wants to laugh at him, let him laugh. He's leaving somebody else alone.
Right.
Making excuses ain't going to get us to heaven.
Right.
No.
Eating the word of God is going to get us to heaven. Coming to church is going to get us to heaven. Praying is going to get us to heaven. Fasting is going to get us to heaven. Assembling yourself together like the Bible says is going to get us to heaven.
Amen.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Living right is going to get us to heaven.
Yeah.
And here's one that people really has got away from. And I'm asking the Lord to put it back in my life so strong. He said to compel them to come in. Compel is to constrain. Drive to, it's by force. And then in one place it said threats. What would we do, really, our family, if we knew? See, Lot knew. But if we knew, just say, December the 1st of 2019, the end of time was over. If we knew. What will we do to get our family in?
That's right.
Will we be easy on them? I'm talking about if we truly knew. The Bible, look, I'm not changing the Bible. The Bible says no man knows.
Right.
But we'll even make an excuse to not even talk to our family.
Yeah.
Amen.
It's true, amen.
Yeah.
But if we truly knew, you know, it would be by force. You're going.
Yep.
You've got to hear the word of God. You're going. The Bible, look here, they can't be saved unless they hear the word of God.
Right. That's what it takes.
They got to hear a preacher.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how can he preach except he be sent?
Right.
Amen. Come on. Amen.
There's a lot of people that's born by the wrong thing. Do you know whatever begets you is your daddy?
Yep.
Amen.
I want to be begotten by the word of God. If you're begotten by the word, you'll bring forth what the word says. It might take a little while.
Yeah.
When you put a grain of corn in the ground, when it first pops through, there's not no full ear of corn on it.
No.
It takes a little while. You've got to take care of it. But you've got to take... Now, a lot of people don't like it, holding around and cutting around. But if you don't get the junk out away from your life, you will be choked and you can't go nowhere with God. That's the same way with corn. These old morning glories and things. I know Dad used to put us out there. But if you didn't cut those out, you just cover them up when they're little, they're going to pop right back through. A
Amen.
lot of people's covering stuff up, but it's popping right back through.
Come on.
Amen.
They're making an excuse how they cover it up, making an excuse and it pops right back.
Amen.
Amen.
Do you know what you need to do? Cut it out.
Amen.
By the
Come on.
root.
Get rid of it. Cut it out.
Dig the root up.
Say, I'm tired of making an excuse, making provision for the flesh.
Cut it out.
Yeah.
Come on.
Get the
I
root.
ain't gonna cover it no more. Cut it out. Then go through there. A lot of times we cut the big ones out and cover the little ones.
Yeah.
Bible says it's the little foxes
That's right.
that spoils the vine. What will they do? They'll grow right back up.
Sure will.
And then if you ain't in a service where the Holy Ghost is really, I'm talking about getting down to the nitty gritty
Come on.
with your life,
Come on.
you'll keep growing.
Amen.
That's why the wheat and the tares sit right there and grow right together.
Amen.
Come on.
And it ain't my place.
Come on.
No.
It ain't my place to pull it up.
Uh-uh.
But it's my place to preach the Word of God.
Uh-huh.
And if the Word of God prunes us, we need to let it cut all these things out that's not like Him.
Come on.
And stop making that excuse. I ain't coming back.
Yeah. Come on.
How many times I'm not going back there.
Yeah.
He's too hard.
Come on.
I'm not hard.
Come on.
I'm not hard. The Word of God, look here. Even the Word of God is not hard.
No, it ain't sure ain't.
The Bible says transgressor.
Amen. Amen.
What is a transgressor? It's somebody that knows the book, but they go against the book.
Amen. Come on. Yeah.
They know it, but they can't live it.
That's
Right.
right.
They're going against it every day of their life.
Got the Holy Ghost.
That's right. Amen.
We're living in that time
Amen.
because iniquity shall abound. The love of, I know it's so damn, Lord, so be funny. I tell you, I feel the Holy Ghost walking all in me. The love of many has waxed cold. It's cold. A lot of times you feel cold waves. It's the love of many, Brother Josh, has waxed cold because you're telling them about their excuses. They don't want to hear, Lord God, that they can't make excuse. The Bible says that you're going to be inexcusable, old man. On that day, you're not going to stand before Jesus and say, Lord, please let me come in. I just messed up that one time.
Come on.
It ain't going to happen.
Choose his day.
That goes for me. I point right at me. That's going for me, Brother Jeff. When we read the Word of God, it's for me. I don't read it just say, well, boy, I'm going to get him tonight.
Come on.
I'm like Brother Timmy said. If you got that attitude, get on the altar, you're lost.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Because people, look here, I don't take, Brother Jeff, I don't get no pleasure out of seeing somebody hurt.
No.
Ain't no pleasure. You know why? I've been there.
Amen.
And I know what it feels like. Sometimes it feels like your heart's been cut out of you. But when God gives us a message about excuses, we can't make excuse.
That's right.
That's right.
Sure ain't no.
Do you know? We got, like on our jobs. I know I got my own business. But I'm talking about people, we got these public jobs. And if you miss so many days, after that, do you know what you got to have? You got to have a doctor's excuse.
Yeah.
Because they ain't going to believe that stuff no more.
It's truth.
That's in the end.
Come on.
But we're living today. Notice this. I just give because the Lord's dealt with me on all these things. Even sickness. They'll make up a doctor said. What doctor did you go to?
Come on. Yeah.
Whose report are you going to believe?
Amen.
People make excuses. Look here. If you go to the doctor, that's you. But why can't we take, and Lord dealt with me so much about excuses, but the people will go to doctors and believe what the doctor says before they believe what the Bible says.
Amen.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, they was doctors, they was physicians back then. I understand that. But what about that little woman that had the issue of blood? The Bible says she sought many physicians, but rather grew worse.
That's right.
Amen.
Seeking the wrong thing. Make excuse, I can't. I can't. Can't never could. Can't never will.
Come on.
We need to take it. These scriptures, sometimes we'll wear them on our shirts. I got this here on the night, Acts 2:38. But we'll wear them scriptures sometimes. I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me.
Yeah. Come on. But you can't get it to go to church.
And then when it comes to church time, I just can't go tonight. You just lied. You're wearing lies on your shirt. Not the word of God in lie, but you're lying on God when you say, I can do it. You can't do it. Lord God, you've got to come out from among the world and say, I can do it.
Come on.
Prove it to him that you can do it.
Right.
Yeah. Come on.
You know, he showed that he loved us.
Sure did.
What about Jesus in pain, Brother Bobby?
Yeah, he proved it.
Ain't none of us ever stood at a whipping post. You ever study up this? I'm talking about what Jesus got beat with. It was bits of glass, bone, and
It
steel
was.
tied to that leather.
Yeah. Lord Jesus.
And it wasn't just one little leather, Brother Jeff. It was like they called it the cat of nine tails. It had 9 big strips of leather down there. Well, when it come around, we think we get in pain, we can't do nothing. Lord help us, Jesus. I'm just giving this gospel here because there's coming a judgment day that there ain't going to be no excuse that goes from me. No excuse when it comes to judgment.
No.
It'll probably be way quieter than what it is in here tonight.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Amen.
Until you hear the words depart.
Yeah. That's when they're going to go to weeping.
When that come around, could you imagine it just sticking in his side over here if they was on this side? I'm talking about the bones of the glass would stick in his side. Then they just jerk it back. We get a little splinter. I got a little cut on my pinky finger right there. And it's so small, I had to get I could probably seen it 10 years ago easily, but I had to get my glasses on to see it because it was bothering me, hurting. But think about Jesus. I'm talking about meat, skin, blood was flying off of him. And we can't go to church because we got just a little bit of pain.
Come on.
Come on, brother.
What did they bring him to Jesus? When people was sick, look here. I know there's maybe some out for sickness or whatever, but you know what we need to learn? A lot of us need to grow up and get mature and say, I've got enough faith. I ain't catching that.
Come on.
You better hear me. People say, well, you use wisdom. What did they do? Did they bring him to Jesus or did they leave him at the house and say, die?
Come on.
Yeah, there was some of them. Thank you, Jesus. I'll just hear them right back. Yeah, there was some of them come to Jesus and said, my little daughter lies over a point of death. How many of them did they pack him to Jesus? Tear a roof come off. They said, yeah, but he's paralyzed. Seeing he was sick.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
What them for? They bore him and took him up on the roof, Brother Hunter. They couldn't get in where Jesus was at. How many of us say, man, it's too hard. I can't get there. Start making excuses and then your buddy die. Lost.
Amen.
Right.
You say, well, man, you ain't, look here. This is what God has ordained for this hour for you to hear.
Come on.
People make an excuse every day of their life. Excuses ain't going to work when it comes Judgment Day.
Yeah.
They're not going to work, Brother Hunter. That goes for Larry Sperry, born January 6, 1973. He will be without excuse when it comes Judgment Day. Everybody sitting under the sound of my voice, everybody that's left this world unprepared to meet Jesus or prepared to meet Jesus,
Come on.
we're all going to stand before Him. Every one of us.
Every one of them.
That's the Word of God. But how do we get around that? And people think they're still going to go to heaven.
Come on.
Live like the devil 5 days a week, sometimes 6, 7. So I'm living like the devil 7 days a week and still come to church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't give it to her.
Make excuse. That ain't me. That ain't me. It's me, Lord. I've made excuse. I told you I've made excuse and run from going to church before. Run, Sister Dory, from going to church. Lord, deal with me. You know what? That is shame on me.
Amen.
Right.
Yeah.
Therefore thou art inexcusable, man, whosoever thou art that judgest. For when thou judgest another, thou condemnest thyself. For thou that judgest doest the same things. Well, we got a lot of that going on also.
Oh, yeah.
That's in the Bible. That's when I ask God to help me every day.
Yeah.
I'd rather I'm not taking and complaining on this right here. God knows I'm not. But the ones that you see people jumping like popcorns, who don't like preaching those sermons?
Come on.
Amen.
But what about the ones, somebody said here tonight, well, we got to take them preaching. People don't like it. And the devil is fighting in your mind. They're going to hate you after the service, but it's all right anyway, Brother Josh. I know who loves me.
Amen.
Right.
Amen.
Jesus is coming.
the sows when the wind ain't blowing.
What if it was December the 1st of this year? And if people knew that, buildings wouldn't hold it.
Amen.
That's a truth.
Everybody be trying to get ready.
Sure would.
But you know what they're saying? A lot of them say, man, I've heard it for 20 years. He ain't come yet. I've heard that one. That's an excuse, and I've heard it.
Come on.
I heard that 20 years ago, and he still ain't come. That's in the Bible, too. That's right in the Word of God.
Yeah.
They'll say it.
The lady's coming then.
What we're going to do, church, when the Word of God takes and it hits us. It's hit me. The Word of God has hit me right here in this church as your pastor.
Yes.
See, when pastors get where they think, I'm not doing nothing, boy, they're in big trouble. They're doing it.
Amen.
I've had the Word of God. I've had testimonies. I've had even singing. Lord, deal with my heart through a song. And say, get that fixed.
Yeah.
But people will keep right on. I can't. Lord, if I stop doing that way, I'm going to lose some friends. What's friends going to do you any good if you don't make it to heaven?
Right.
Down there, they're going to hate you. Brother Bo, they're going to bite on you.
Sure will.
That's what the Bible says. There's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Right.
Awfulest crime that you've ever heard. We ain't heard crime. If just a little part of a door could be pulled open to hell and let you listen, there wouldn't be none of us. We'd be on that altar right there. But we turn around every day and make excuse. And it's just not going to church. We'll make excuse not to go pray.
Yeah.
We'll make excuse not to read the Bible. We'll make excuse not to fast.
Sure
You
will.
can't do it. That's what the devil said to say. You can't do it.
Excuse me.
What did Jesus say? Did he say we could do all things? Or did he say we could do part things? He said we could do all things.
All things.
Back to the whole doctor deal, and I know a lot of people don't like it. If people talk to me, they think that I actually hate them. They're good to a point. Yes, reading, I do. I pray it that way. I've heard John pray it that way. Guide their eyes, guide their hands, be their mind. But then everybody that may not be getting somebody to pray over them that way. They're human. Do you know they can do whatever they want to? If God don't say heal, they ain't going to heal.
Amen.
I don't care what man says. We've got to get back to the Word of God and start believing it. That's what's wrong with that was wrong with that little woman that had the issue of blood. Doctors and everything they could do.
Yeah.
But she came to Jesus. You know what we need back in the church? We need people coming to Jesus. Bringing them to Jesus. Go watch some of the old videos. I watched a few of them. Did they leave the sick at home?
AA owns it, didn't
They brought the sick to the man of God. I forget which one it was. You could see them one place. It's crutches, wheelchairs, everything all around.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, I was Jack Cole Hall, was like that.
And look here, we want to look at that person, but we can't be that person. It was God in that person.
Right.
He's the same God. If we could get that faith back, Brother Jim. That priest earnestly contend for the faith which was once delivered unto who? The saints. We're saints.
Yeah.
We need to take and go get after it. Get back to it. Whatever it takes. When we read the Word of God, Brother Jeff said it, and God takes and condemns you in your situation, get out of it.
Amen. Amen. Right.
That's what the problem is. You ever look at the old videos? I've been Josh looking one the other day, got them dimmer switches in it. I know it's a dimmer switch, and we talk about condemn. Some of them, theirs don't even work anymore. They tuck it out.
Amen.
They tuck it plumb out, Brother Bob.
Yep.
When the preacher comes through, he can't hit it. You can't hit it. Trimmings? What about trimmings? They don't want trimmed. Some of them in the look here, if you could just see some of them in the spirit, they got toenails growing back down like that.
Come on.
Look here, I'm telling you, not trying to be funny, but they don't want a trimming, Brother Jeff. In the spirit, they don't want it.
Come on.
Sure don't.
If you would take, look here, if God could let us see some things, it would shock us in this church right here where we're at tonight.
Amen.
It would shock us. And then we say, wonder why that's coming out. Do you know the Spirit knows all things?
Amen.
It'll show you things to come.
Yep.
Lord, show me things to come. And it has came to pass. I've seen it with these eyes.
Yep.
And I'm sticking with Jesus. I'm not going to follow man. I'm going to stick with Jesus.
That's right.
If the Lord tells me no, it's going to be no. If he says it's all right, I'm going to go with it. This is how you got to go. We got to go.
That's right.
Stop making excuses. Quit making that provision to satisfy the flesh and let the flesh do what it wants to do.
Yep.
Flesh is an enemy against God.
Yeah.
It's against him.
Yep.
Don't want nothing to do with him. Thank you, Lord, for the teaching tonight.
Amen. Right.
And another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. Won't even come.
No.
We need to be married to Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm talking about dedicated 100% to him.
That's right.
I know the Lord, he was speaking right here when he told us here in the natural part, but he had to take and break it down. He spoke with such authority and with such wisdom, they couldn't understand it. Look at the times that they come and say, now tell us plainly what this means.
Yeah. He had to speak in parables to get them to understand.
He had to break it down, Brother Bo. They couldn't understand it. That's just like today, and you try to break it down. How do you got to break it down? That's the reason the Pharisees couldn't stand Jesus. When he'd speak, look here, they could bite a 16-penny nail slapping too. That's how mad they would get.
Yeah.
They get upset with Jeff. He's talking about me.
They noticed, didn't they?
They noted when it took and he countersunk. He drove the nail right there.
Amen. Yep.
Amen.
And that's the same way today. They'll look and say, if it don't say the or and right on the page, you can't say, let me tell you, I was going to say, you can't say quit smoking. You can't say quit chewing. It's what they don't want you saying no more. Do you know why? I ain't read that in the Bible.
All filled for the flesh. Unrighteous.
Amen. See, we got some Bible readers. But that's what I'm trying to say. They don't want you to say, when you look at it and say you can't wear shorts no more. That ain't in the Bible. Bible you read, you must have got one of them if they changed the books. They changed all the words. But the same God that preached, people say, well, they was wrong 40 years ago. No, they wasn't wrong. I seen more healings. I seen devils cast out. I'm talking about as a child growing up. I seen this taking place. But they was then, amen, Brother Gerald, they was then a more of a separation from this world.
Man.
Yeah.
Right.
The Bible says they become lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Is that not? We're living in that time they love pleasure more than they love God. They'd rather do the worldly stuff than to feel the move of God.
Yep.
They'd rather stay at home and do something pleasure to the flesh than to come to church and be healed. See somebody born again. See somebody receive the baptism of the Holy Ghost. Look here, why do you think all these testimonies just come together in this service? Because you don't hear, people don't hardly preach about the Holy Ghost no more. It's the truth. What Dad said, you don't hardly hear it no more. They'll say, hey, you got the same messages over and over and over. What did Peter didn't go and preach? They preached the same message over and over. And he didn't just stop at the Jews. God had him to go down to the Gentiles. And as he was preaching, talking about this same Jesus, as he was talking to him, the Bible says, the Holy Ghost fell upon them.
Amen. Amen.
Now, do you know what it is? You got to get up and preach on sin sometimes for an hour, and it still don't penetrate.
That's right.
That's right.
Amen.
Overstep now.
If we could get back to believing the Word of God, God will give us messages to heal, make free. See, devils cast, look here, it's Him that does it.
Amen.
But when we're out of whack, He can't do it.
Amen.
We got, look here, church, I'm talking about me. Every little thing, every little thought that the devil brings your way during the day, I'm talking, even in church, sometimes he tries to bring a thought.
Yeah.
You got to take and capture it and put that out and say, Lord, I don't want that here.
Amen. That's right.
But we're living in a time that we'll take and water it.
Yeah.
Make excuse and water it.
Yeah.
Fertilize it. How do we do it? Lord, show me this stuff. How do we do it? We'll get on the phone, number one. We'll call and say, what do you think about that? Do you think that? You know what it is? The problem is the sword came through and cut, but you didn't put no bomb on it. You started making an excuse. You called up somebody. And this is going on. You called up somebody, you start talking about the pastor. You start talking about the preacher. You start talking about the deacons. You start talking about the ones that sing. Lord God, and God, then before you know it, you got just a big talk fest. And when you come to church, everybody's mad at everybody.
Amen. Come on.
Amen.
And then you get down to where, and I know we should have way more than this. And I'm not, look here, the Lord told me, going even over Brother Hunter's, you know what, I've come up the ramp, probably there wasn't very many, but the Lord said it's not in numbers.
It ain't. No. Sure ain't.
It ain't in numbers.
Right.
It's His Spirit.
Right.
It's been said here, and you know, if you could get people to come and let God, through somebody, it don't have to be through me. I told you it don't have to be through me. I just want to be part of it.
Right.
If I'm just up there praising God
Right.
and see Sister Teresa healed, do you know the people that know her would fill this church up?
Sure would.
But when that happens, now listen to me, when that happens, because the Lord said, but you got to get them here. I'm still believing what the Lord said. I don't care what man says.
Amen.
Jesus ain't lost an ounce of power.
Man.
If, look here, and I'm not trying to be mean, but if Sister Teresa chooses not to come here, I'd love to see her and hubby coming here. I'm still praying for that every day. That's my duty as the pastor. I pray for them that they come to church. But if they don't come and they die lost, it don't make Brother Larry a false prophet.
No.
I didn't stand and say, God's going to heal you next week. But I'm going to stand on what God said, but they got to be here.
Right.
And when it happens, this goes for any miracle, anything that God does. Do you know what we got to do? Still got to preach the Word of God. If the pews in here get full, we can't compromise, we can't back up, we still got to preach the Word of God.
Amen.
If people don't want to live right, we still got to preach the Word of God. You know what they'll say? Yeah, but that just runs them off. I ain't running them off. They chose that they didn't love Jesus.
That's right.
They chose they didn't love Jesus. Jesus said, if you love me, keep my commandments. In other words, stop making excuses that you can't love me.
Right.
I loved you. I went to a cross for you. I already healed you.
Amen. Come on.
That's deeper than people don't even want to go there. You know where it's at? The healing, it's in us.
Amen.
Yeah.
He already done it. I can take proof by the Word of God.
Yeah.
By whose stripes
You are healed.
you were healed. Past tense. You're already healed. There's a lot before that if we get into it. Got to get ourselves in condition. Got to get ourselves right.
Amen.
That's where it's at. Go read it over here. You'll find it.
Yeah.
It was just brought out over last night. You'll find it if you get in the book. People ain't getting in the book. They don't know. They don't know the book. How can you know God if you ain't never read Him?
That's right.
Come on.
You keep making excuses. I can't read. I got a lot of CDs. I got it on my phone. I go down the road and listen to Jesus.
Amen.
No
Look
excuse.
here. They ain't no excuse.
They ain't.
You get in a hurry of a morning, I've been there. Wake up late, Sister Doyle, and devil, I got you this morning. I said, no, you don't. I write down on the index card, jump the truck, and going down the road listening to Jesus. So you ain't got me this morning, devil. You just think you did. You can't let that, look here, if you give one little small place to the devil, eventually he'll take over in your life.
Amen.
Amen.
If you make one little excuse, it's going to grow into a monster.
Yep.
It'll grow into a monster. Huge. So let's keep right on compelling them. Tell our family by force. Keep telling Jesus is coming. People you say Dad was so wrong. You used to come around Dad was tough. He's still tough. When you come around him, he just tell you I don't want to see you in that stuff. You know what they say? That's mean. That's his house.
Amen.
You want to go down the road and live like the devil? You go down the road and live like the devil.
That's what it is.
Just like the Lord showed me that one part there. Would you allow him to cuss in your house? Would you allow him to come in cussing you out? No. Or are you going to say get down the road? No, you're going to stop them from cussing. But then you'll let them just wear whatever they want to through the house. Broadcast it. There ain't no difference in God's eyes. We've got to get this right. We make an excuse for everything. It's what the Lord's telling us. We make an excuse for everything. And say, yeah, but I can't say that to them. I'll never get them to the church house. Maybe if you start telling them the truth, that's why they keep on doing what they're doing. You ain't telling them the truth. Be the light in front of them. Don't change. Don't change.
Amen.
Bidding, I wrote down to call a loud, utter in a loud voice to invite. A lot of times the Lord's screaming at us. We'll still go do other things anyway. Him a bidding, screaming at us, loud. Don't go. Look here. If we could just see it, don't go that way.
Right.
That's full of envy, strife. There's sin down there.
Doggone.
Was that you, Lord? This is where people's at. I've been there. I know it's slow down, but I've been there. And the Lord had to call me back.
Come on.
Lord's reached a hand to people tonight.
Yeah.
You know what he's saying? There's coming a Last Supper. But the ones that is bidden, I always think, man, should be just Holy Ghost just roll. The ones that were bidden, he said, won't get the taste of my supper. How many's God really right here tonight dealing with you on something you're not for sure on, but you've been praying about? He's a knocker. He's a bid. You hear that song? There's a place in my heart that even I won't go. But one day, you know what happened? He'll go in these different places. One day you just got to hand him the key.
Yeah.
Hand him the key. And you won't be ashamed anymore. I'm not ashamed no more.
Amen.
There was times, even in my walk with God, I see certain people I try to avoid because I'd be ashamed of Jeff. I know, even when I smoke, I just drop behind me. Certain people just come into your presence like that, and you know what they think of you. You're just trying to get rid of it. But what about what God thinks about us?
Right.
Never would let it sink in of what God thought about me. Until one day sitting at Camden Park. And he went to work on me real good. I ain't been the same since. But I'm proud to be who I am in Jesus.
Amen.
I'm proud to be a Christian.
Amen.
I'm not ashamed of Jesus. Everywhere I go, I'm going to tell it. I'll tell about Jesus. When people ask, let's not make excuse. Let's keep it on for Jesus. I wrote down in inexcusable is indefensible. You're going to have a defense there. Without excuse. That which cannot be defended. And excuse in a noun is a reason or explanation put forward to defend or justify a fault or offense. That's in a noun. People's got that one too. They say they got a reason why they couldn't. What about when you stand before Jesus? There ain't even going to be a reason.
Amen.
You can't come up with one. And I love you, church. I do. But I had to get this out off of me. What the Lord deals with me, I'm to give to you. And if the Lord wants it again, I got to give it again. Because we're living in a time that excuses is eating people up.
Yeah.
And when it's eating them up, it's keeping them out of church. They won't come to church. And before you know it, you know what happens to them? They're completely backslid. I know. I've seen it. And it hurts. It hurts. And you do all you can do. But that don't mean I'm going to stop witnessing. That don't mean I'm going to stop and say, you can come back. I won't preach that no more. I'm going to keep on preaching Jesus.
Amen. Amen.
I'm going to keep on preaching holiness. It's going to be holiness or hell.
Amen.
It's holiness. Look here, that's the way it is. It's holiness or hell. We used to hear those messages. We need to get back to those messages. Holiness or hell. Live right or you're going to hell. Do right or you're going to hell. It's righteousness. It's doing what's right in the eyes of God.
Yes.
Not in the eyes of man, in the eyes of God. That's his scarce because his eyes run to and fro.
Yes.
It don't miss nothing. I don't care what you do, it don't miss nothing. You can go back underneath. What was it David said?
I made
Yeah,
my bed in
make
hell.
a bed in
If he made his bed in hell, he'd be there.
See, yep.
John went down in the fish. He was still there.
See?
He thought, look at John, thought, made every excuse he could not to go down there and him. Went down there and bought him some tickets, jumped on a boat, headed to Tarshish.
Yeah.
Got down there and started falling asleep till the presence of the Lord was right there.
Amen.
They come up there and said, man, what, you can do something here. Call on your God. But what did he say? He said, boys, I know what, in so many words, I know what the problem is. It's me. I've been making excuses. I've been running. If you take and throw me overboard here, this here's going to cease. The waves will stop. The wind will quit blowing. And them guys, they had enough sense, even though they wasn't calling on the true and living God. They didn't want to do that to Jonah.
No.
But still, when they threw him overboard, here come that big great fish, the whale. Swallowed Jonah up, down it goes. You talk about in a dark place.
Down there in the beach.
Jonah went down there trying to get 2 sticks, trying to get him fire in there. He said, out of the belly of hell cried I.
Sure was. It was hell for me.
Look here, church, we don't need to keep making an excuse and then get in a place with God. People say, well, I ain't on no boat, but I'm talking about you got to get in the spirit. Don't let a whale swallow you up and take you to the bottomless pit down there. Because you made an excuse and you didn't want to.
Amen.
You know what happened? When he went to crying out, God spoke to that fish. Here he comes. Back up. He vomited John up on the shore. I'd say this time it was yes, Lord.
No.
I ain't going to make no excuse.
Come on.
And he went down there and Nineveh was turned around.
Amen.
Now let's just thank you, Jesus.
Hallelujah.
The people that Nineveh, Lord just gave me this right here. How's people going to know unless you tell them? If John would have never went, they would still never know the right hand from the left hand.
Amen. Come on.
Sure died.
Do you think I'd say there was some of them down there didn't like it when Jonah come into town preaching? But he got somebody's attention down there. Every one of them went to fast. It didn't matter. They all turned, and God didn't destroy that place. God didn't overthrow it. And today we won't tell the truth because we're afraid to hurt a feeling.
Right.
That's what Jonah's problem was. I truly believe that.
Yeah.
They won't listen. I ain't going to go down. In other words, I might hurt somebody's feelings. But to make an excuse. We don't need to make excuse. Make provision for the flesh. Jesus is coming.
Yeah.
And we better, if we're not ready, we better be getting ready. And when we get ready, stay ready. Don't let nothing. The devil's trying to take a creep. But I'm going to keep pushing him away. He'll try every place that he can to get in. But I love Jesus, and I'm going to make it. That's what we got to say. I'm going to make it. No matter what the devil says, I'm going to make it. I love you, church. If they want to come and sing a song, stop making excuses. I include me. Stop making excuses. Stop making a provision for the flesh. Let us start walking in the Word. Start walking in that Word. I'm like this. I'll go ahead and tell you, you might get mad at me. Me as your pastor, if I get sick, people say, well, I want to be your church. Okay? I love you. Pastor's not going to tell you if you get sick. Now, other people might. If you get sick and you want to come to church, pastor will never say a word to you. I'm going to pray for you. People say, pastor, you need to use wisdom. You need to get some faith too. What if we turn around and say you need to get some faith? We don't do eye for an eye. But I'm just saying, people says you need to use wisdom. What about faith?
Amen.
Wisdom's right. Faith's right. But we need to get it lined up with this. Quit telling people not to come to the house of God. If you come, I ain't to come. They'll tell them that. If you come sick, I'm staying at the house.
Cheap excuse for them.
That's what they'll say. They'll make an excuse. If you come sick, I'm staying home. I don't want to be sick. Where's your trust in God? I'm trusting in Jesus. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I ain't going to come out and blare it out. If I'm sick, I'm going to be here at church. Lord dealt with me about other things that I won't go there unless He has me to speak on them. There'll probably be a lot of you say, that just ain't it. When the Lord has me speak on them, I'll speak on them. Because excuses, look here, we can make them all day. But the Lord said it ain't going to work. When it comes to Jesus, it ain't going to work. Excuses, you hear them every day. I had to go do this. I had to go do that. What if Jesus, when He's up there standing at that whipping post, man, boys, stop. I got to run over here. I got to talk to Peter for a while. No, you know who He had on His mind?
Yeah, me.
He had every one of us standing here. What about when they thrust Him out? And they compelled one Simon of the Cyrenes to help pack his cross. What about when Jesus, as He come up there and He stood at the bottom of that mountain? And He looked, He knew. He looked, Sister Pat, and He seen where He was going to. Knew in just a little while He'd be nailed to an old rugged cross. Pain all over His body, but He did not make no excuse. You know what He said? I've made an excuse before, and I'm sorry, Jesus. But as they nailed Him to that cross, they lifted Him up, dropped Him down that hole. Could you imagine the pain that was in His hands and His feet? As they'd come by, they'd spit on Him. They'd mock Him as He's hanging there with a boat, and He'd try to get another breath. That's why they break your leg. Do a study on the crucifixion.
Right.
It'll break your heart. But Jesus would push up. He'd muster up to see. He was flesh just like we, but He was God. As a man, He would push up in pain.
Yeah.
Gasping for another breath. But as God, He loved us. As they come through wagging their heads and said He saved others, but He can't save Himself. How many of us can take it as like Jesus did? Them mocking, laughing at Him. Look at Him up there. He saved all those others, but He can't even save Himself. In all that pain, but He didn't make excuses. You know what He said? He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. If that wasn't love, if that ain't love, if that's not making an excuse, then I don't know what is. In the flesh of what people do today, make an excuse. Jesus, in the flesh at that time, He had every excuse. He could have come up with every excuse not to do it. But He knew He would go right against His word. He knew that it would go against His word. He was man. God, an inexcusable old man. Just as much as He was God, He was man in the flesh. Yeah. That's why He came to feel the pain that we feel. Lord, show me. I'd sit up there and don't preach that and cry. Want to know how you God. Walking down, He said, "You was how you God." He said they can't get past the flesh. They can't get past the flesh. Flesh and blood ain't going to enter. Jesus that came, he was God. That was his name. God wrapped himself up in a robe of flesh and said, I'm going to feel the pain. I'm going that they can overcome. I'm going that they don't have to make an excuse. I'm going to show them. Do you believe this? We got the Holy Ghost, the same God. We believe that the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, that these three are one. We believe that. And he gave us the Holy Ghost, the same thing. His daddy was the Holy Ghost. We say we can't overcome. She said, as I have overcome, you can overcome. As I have overcome and sit down with my Father in his throne, you can overcome and sit down with me in my throne. Don't that make you happy? Why do we make an excuse? I'm not picking on nobody. I'm telling you the word of God that can help us. Brother Bowie goes for me. I've got to stop. I've made excuses. I've got to stop making excuses. Do you know why? When I stand there, Daddy, there's been times, Lord's devil's still praying. It's been preached here. And I pray, but to go and pray at a certain time, and I'll put it off. I'll make an excuse. I'll be talking to him, Brother Ruby, and say, Lord, give him just a little bit more time. I need to get this done. Make an excuse. It goes deeper than we think. But I want to do better, church. You know why? I see your family. I see my family. There's still a bunch of us one right after another. It comes so easy to us. Excuses come so easy to us. I can't. What about if we get to a place and just tell Lord, I can do it, Lord. Your word said I can do it. That flesh just a hurting. But you said I can do it, Lord. I love you, church. I want to go to heaven with you. I want to be up there with you. It's not God's will that anyone perish. That's why he came. John 3:16, that's why he came. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. That whosoever, they didn't just say, I came just for the Jews. He said, whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Everlasting life. Well, you know what we're going to do? Stop making excuses. Stop making provisions for the flesh. If we're taking put him first, do you know, if we listen to the Bible, Daddy's preached it, the JR's preached it, different ones in here's quoted it, and the Bible's right. If you seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. He said all, that's what he said. He didn't say part of them. He said all these other things. I'm talking about, you can take a look at it. All these other things as homes, vehicles, everything that people's fighting trying to get. If you'll just seek Jesus first, do you know he'll make a way where there seemeth to be no way? Because he is the way. That's his word. He said, I'm the way. That ought to be enough for us just to jump on and hold on to Jesus loose. Wherever you go, Lord, I'll go. Lord, don't let me make an excuse. When you see me trying to get loose, reach down and pull me back up. You know He will with His word. That's how He pulls us up. When we're holding on to Him, Brother Bo, He feels us losing grip. He'll take His word. He does me. He'll take His word and say, here, up here's where you belong. Lord, help me, Jesus.